I'm Debbie Hewlett, and I'm a waterfront specialist with Harbortown Real Estate right here in Charleston, South Carolina. This video is going to talk about 4 different types of waterfront property that we have right here in our area. Tidal creeks, deep water tidal creeks, deep water rivers, and finally beachfront or oceanfront property. All of these properties are wonderful for different reasons, and this video is going to show you some of the advantages and disadvantages to each one. This is an example of waterfront property on a tidal creek. The home itself sits on a rise that slopes gently down to the creek where there's a dock, perfect for swimming, fishing, and boating. But you do have to time your boating excursions, as you'll see when we come back here on low tide. There are lots of advantages to tidal creek properties. They're typically less expensive, and because they are on smaller creeks, there's less boat traffic and lots of bird and wildlife. Well, now we're back at the same spot on our tidal creek 6.5 hours later. And as you can see, there's no water for boating. Tidal creeks are perfect for a lot of things, but not for boating at low tide. Now we're on Tukadoo Creek. This is a great example of a deep water tidal creek. Even at low tide, there's 8 or 10 feet of water here, so there's plenty of water for swimming, fishing, and boating, even at low tide. Across the creek, you'll see there's lots of marsh and opportunities for all kinds of birds and wildlife. And because we are on a tidal creek, there's not as much boat traffic as there is on some of the larger bodies of water, like the deep water rivers and the intercoastal waterway. Even at low tide, there's plenty of water, and as you look up the creek, you can see that the channel is still plenty wide enough to support boat traffic. The marsh grass and the pluff mud that were covered with water a few hours ago are now clearly visible. This is an example of waterfront property on a deep water river. We're on the Wando River right now, and it's saltwater for its entire length. But there are other rivers in the Charleston area, like the Cooper and the Ashley, that are freshwater at a point someplace upriver. The beauty of this is that there's panoramic vistas in every direction. And because we are on a deep water river, you can fish, swim, water ski, any kind of boating right off of your own dock. This one has the added advantage of having an unobstructed path all the way from here to the ocean. In the summer though, these docks do take quite a beating from the passing boats and their wakes. But nothing can beat hanging out on your own dock with a nice drink and a cool breeze on a hot summer day. We're back on the floating dock here on the Wando River. As you can see, things have changed a lot.
As you can see, at high tide, this boat is merely sitting on the water. But at low tide, there's quite a difference. The boat is 6 feet above the water now. But the owner can still drop it in the water and go for a cruise. Oceanfront or beachfront property is an option for some folks who love to be on the water, feel the wind in their hair and the sand in their toes. For them, there's nothing like walking out their back door and being on the beach. But there are issues with being on the front beach. Wind and hail insurance, flood insurance, and erosion are certainly issues you need to be aware of. But for some, it's worth all the risk.
As you've seen, every kind of waterfront property has its own unique attributes. I'm Debbie Hewlett, and I'd love to help you find the waterfront property that's right for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and be looking for my next video called Frequently Asked Questions About Waterfront Property in Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you.